Have you ever had a reaction that felt a little too big for the situation? Your partner's running late and suddenly you feel abandoned. Your boss gives feedback and now you feel like a failure. Someone raises their voice and you freeze like you're 5 years old again. You know it doesn't make sense. You try to logic your way out of it. But your body does not care about logic. You truly do feel abandoned or scared or ashamed. That's because your body isn't necessarily responding to what's happening right now. It's responding to what happened back then. Your childhood wounds aren't just living in the past. They're running your present. And they'll keep running it until you heal them where they live, in your nervous system. If you are new here, welcome. I'm Jessica Ortner. I'm a New York Times bestselling author and co-creator of the Tapping Solution app. And I'm excited for today. Today, in the Psychology of Tapping series, we're exploring why your inner child still controls your outer adult and how tapping can finally set you both free. So let's start today with how childhood experiences become adult patterns. Your nervous system is like a recording device. From birth to about 7, it's in maximum absorption mode. Every experience gets logged. How love was expressed or wasn't, what made you feel safe or unsafe, what got you attention or what made you feel invisible, what was too much or never enough. These aren't conscious memory, they're body memories, encoded in your nervous system as truth about how the world works. A critical parent, your nervous system learned, I am not good enough. Inconsistent caregiving. Your nervous system learned, people, they can't be trusted. Having to be the responsible one, your nervous system learns, my needs don't matter. These become your default settings, your automatic responses, the lens through which you see everything. And here is the painful paradox. We unconsciously recreate our childhood dynamics. The person with an absent father often dates the emotionally unavailable partner. The child who was criticized becomes self-critical. The kid who had to earn love becomes an overachieving adult. So why would we do this? It's because your nervous system believes that what's familiar is safe. So your brain thinks, I survived this before, I'm going to survive it again. It's not looking for happiness. It's looking for home. So home is what you knew, not necessarily what you needed. Every childhood adaptation, it was brilliant. I'm going to say that again. Every way you learned to survive was genius. If you became invisible to avoid criticism, smart. You became the helper to feel valued, adaptive. You became the achiever to get love. That's survival. But here's the issue. The very thing that saved you as a child imprisons you as an adult. The invisibility that protected you now, well, it keeps you small. The helping that earned love, it now leads to burnout. The achievement that got attention, it's now creating this endless amount of pressure. So you're still running software designed for a reality that no longer exists. You can understand all of this intellectually. You can read all the books, do years of therapy. You can know exactly why you do what you do. But when triggered in the moment, your nervous system doesn't check with your prefrontal cortex. It just runs the program. Because these patterns were installed before you had language, before you could think critically. That's why insight alone, it rarely creates change. You can't think your way out of a body memory. So Today, what I want to do is I'm going to go through a few things, and I want you to notice if any of this sounds familiar to you. Let's start with the abandonment wound. This is when you feel panic when someone doesn't text you back. Maybe you're clinging to a toxic relationship or always just waiting for people to leave. Or the rejection wound, people pleasing to avoid conflict, can't handle criticism. You reject yourself before others can. There's the betrayal wound, can't trust even trustworthy people, hypervigilance in relationships and expecting to be disappointed. Or the humiliation wound, perfectionism to avoid shame, can't be vulnerable, harsh inner critic. The injustice wound, rigid need for control, can't tolerate unfairness, difficulty receiving help. Guys, these aren't character flaws. They're childhood wounds still bleeding. This is where tapping becomes revolutionary for inner child healing. When you tap while connecting to a childhood memory or feeling, first, you're doing what wasn't possible then, staying regulated while feeling the feeling. As a child, you had no tools. Now you do. Second, you're literally sending calming signals through the tapping technique while the old pattern, this old program runs. So we know from research that tapping lowers cortisol, shifts brain activity, and even lowers heart rate. All signs it is sending those calming signals to your nervous system, helping your brain and your body know that you are safe in the present moment. When you tap, your adult self is helping your nervous system break out of old patterns it might have been stuck in from the past. It's like telling your nervous system, this feeling is survivable. We are okay now. Third, you're creating dual awareness. Part of you is the child feeling that feeling. Part of you is the adult providing safety. This integration is profound. The tapping points themselves may even connect to the same self-soothing behaviors children naturally do. Think about it. Rubbing your eyes when you're tired, touching your face when you're upset, hand on your heart for comfort. Through this calming, soothing, science-backed nervous system regulation tool, you can give your inner child what they need now: safety, comfort, ease. Let me share a story, actually. So Bobbie couldn't understand why she was stuck in this same painful pattern for decades. So during a tapping session, a childhood memory surfaced. Her 5th birthday party. She was sitting at a table with friends, laughing, having a great time. Then her father walks in. She smelled the beer before she saw him. He put his hands on her shoulder and said, "God, I wish you never been born," in front of her friends on her 5th birthday. For decades, those words, they played on repeat in her mind every single day. They became the lens through which she saw herself. But as she tapped through this memory, she did this with my brother Nick on stage at one of our tapping events, something shifted. She finally felt the rage she suppressed, the hurt beneath the numbness. And most importantly, she was able to uncover the truth. His words were about his pain, not her worth. The audience, they spontaneously joined in, passing the microphone, saying, "He was wrong. He was wrong. I'm glad you were born."
He was wrong.
Just know he was wrong.
He was wrong.
And she stood there, tears flowing, and something finally released. And her adult self was able to see the situation in a whole new way.
Now I get that it was never about me.
Yeah.
He was a lost man and in a lot of pain, so he had to hurt someone else as much as he hurt.
He was a lost man in a lot of pain. That's what she said. It was never about me. I get emotional talking about this. For the first time in her life, she could tell the story without feeling destroyed by it. The memory remained. It's a hurtful memory, but the power to define her, that was gone. This is what happens when you heal at the root. Those childhood words, those wounds stored in your nervous system for decades, they finally lose their grip. Your childhood wounds work the same way. They're not just memories. They're programs still running your adult life. Until you heal them where they live in your nervous system, they won't stop repeating themselves. So how do you start healing your inner child? First, notice your triggers. What makes you react bigger than the situation warrants? Where do you feel young and small and powerless? That's a childhood wound asking for attention. Second, start tapping through the memories, the feelings, the experiences from your past. Bring those memories to mind while you tap, sending those calming signals to the brain while you reflect on the event from your past. Remember, you're not trying to change the past. We can't. You're just shifting your nervous system's response to it. Every time you tap through a childhood trigger, you're updating that old software, teaching your system. That was then, this is now. I'm safe. Your childhood wounds are not your fault. They're not your fault. But healing them is an opportunity. Every pattern, every trigger, every overreaction, they're invitations to heal what's been waiting to be healed. Your inner child has been running the show because no one told them they could rest. No one told them that you are safe now and older and wiser with new tools to protect yourself. So they're still protecting you. Your inner child is trying to protect you the only way it knows how. But with strategies that work, we can break these patterns. Tapping lets you reach through time to provide the safety that was missing, to finally update those old survival programs. So if this resonates with you, subscribe for more of this series, The Psychology of Tapping. And if you're ready to be on this journey to heal, check out the Tapping Solution app. We have specific sessions for inner child healing. And thank you for watching. Please, please remember, you're not broken. You're just running old software, and that software can be updated. You are enough. You are loved. Thank you for tuning in.